All right. Welcome back to the Webheads podcast. I'm one of your hosts, DeMarco.
And I'm your other host, Steven.
And let's kick it off because we got a big ass story to tell.
Big ass story.
Let's
Look
go.
at that story.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh, that's a story right there.
Boom, bow, bow.
Hello.
So since this is a big story, we'll get a little bit into what we've been up to.
We won't get into too much detail. As of this recording, yesterday I went to the movies.
Okay.
I saw The Lost City with Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum.
Okay, how was it?
It wasn't bad. It's funny. It's kind of slow in the beginning.
Mm.
I would say it's one of those movies that's probably better to watch at home when you can just kind of get up and do some stuff or put it on in the background.
Yeah.
Just because, it's a little slow in the beginning. But other than that, it was good. We went to the Lot in San Ramon at the Bishop Ranch.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those theaters where it's
yeah.
super fancy.
Mm-hmm.
And so they have like waiters and waitresses come into to your seat.
Yeah.
And I was like freaked out. I was like, I can't do it. I don't want them coming to me. So we went there. Theater was all right. I mean, it has like the reclining seats and everything and all that. Seats weren't that comfortable for me. Other than that, it was good. We went to Salt and Straw after.
Okay.
I got this month they're doing like a cereal type of promotion or deal or flavors.
Yeah.
So I got like a Rice Krispies one. It was good. It was kind of sweet. Just like like a Rice Krispie treat.
They always have crazy flavors.
Yeah.
And I went to when we were in downtown Disney one time. I've never actually bought any for myself. It's always Fariel and Farah and her mom or whoever else is going with us. They always get something from there. But this is pre-pandemic, so they're doing samples. They might still do it, but I don't know. And they had I love strawberry ice cream, so I was like, cool, let me try the strawberry balsamic vinegar one.
I saw that one.
And I was like, it shouldn't be that bad. Oh, shit was disgusting. Horrible. I don't know why people would put those two flavors together.
I think they had a strawberry and like black pepper one yesterday.
See, and I even after the balsamic one, I was like, that sounds like it's probably bad together, strawberry and black pepper, but I think I'll try it.
Yeah, like they don't have, for people who don't know, Salt and Straw is it's an ice cream shop, but they don't have like your classic just chocolate, vanilla, or like even like Baskin Robbins kind of basic stuff. Everything is kind of amped to the next level.
Yeah.
And so this month it was like cereal flavored ones, but then they have like a honey lavender one, or like I said, the strawberry black pepper.
Yeah, flavors that you normally wouldn't expect to be in ice cream is usually what they use.
Yeah, and they had an olive oil one on there too.
Yeah, I've seen one like that.
Yeah,
they had one that was like, I forgot what it was exactly, but it was like a whole bunch of herbs and stuff in it. And I was like, that doesn't seem right for ice cream. But right now at the Food and Wine Festival, they got the frozen guacamole. It's literally just avocado ice cream bar. But they still put like the tomatoes, the onions, and all that shit on top of it. Some people have said they really liked it. Some people hate it.
I think I'd give it a try. I'd give it a bite.
Also, so at the time of this coming out, I will either be in Disneyland or coming home from Disneyland. And right now they're doing the Food and Wine Festival. And they have this item that I really want to try. That every person that I've seen try it on video has said they hated it. But there's not a single part of my being that will allow me to go there and not try it. And it's peanut butter. It's called a peanut butter mac and cheese. Peanut butter and jelly mac and cheese.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, it's just macaroni noodles with peanut butter and jelly on top. But everybody that's tried it that I've seen has made the nastiest face I've ever seen while people eat food. They are disgusted by it. And Ferio keeps telling me that I can't try it. She's like, you're not going to like it. It's going to be a waste of your money. But I can't not do it. That's when I get to DCA, that's going to be the first thing I try. I have to.
You let us know.
Yeah. I'll give you guys an update when I come back.
Record your reaction to it.
Yeah, I will. I'll do that.
Because we have to see.
It might not be bad. But what else have I been doing? Oh, have you seen Turning Red?
Not yet, surprisingly.
It's a really good movie.
Janae and Mom were watching it last night, and I can hear it from Janae's room. Mm-hmm. And I was hearing the songs, and I was just like, ooh, this sounds good.
The songs slap. The songs are really good. But the movie overall is just really good. It's has like a nostalgic feel to it, because it's based in 2003, I think it is.
Oh, okay.
So you'll see like a lot of like references to stuff that we had like growing up then, and just like the feel of it, just like being that age at that time. It was good. I've been seeing a lot of people say they don't like it for stupid reasons. Oh, she ran away from home. You shouldn't be teaching that to kids. Listen, guys, Nemo went across the ocean because he wasn't listening to his dad.
He got kidnapped.
He got kidnapped and taken halfway across the world, and you guys didn't say a single thing.
If you think about it, Finding Nemo is taken for kids.
Yeah. Another thing. How long was Boo gone in Monsters Inc? How long was Boo gone?
What's the time? Does time run faster in Monster World than?
Because she was with Sully for like 4 days.
Yeah.
And if you're telling me that Monster Time runs faster, then okay, I'll take that. But if it runs at the same time, her parents have been stressed, only for her to just show up back in her bed. So I need some clarification on how fast that time runs. But yeah. So yeah, me and Ferial have watched Turning Red like 4 times. Oh, another thing I'm doing for maybe a special episode down the road, I am watching every Marvel animated show.
Oh, that's what I was going to tell you. I started watching X-Men the animated series.
You've never watched it?
I never watched it in order or like when as a kid, it was just on when it was on.
Yeah.
But I never had a chance to actually like sit down and like watch it and like all the way through. Mm-hmm. So I've started doing that, and it's actually really good.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I love that show. That's my favorite one.
Yeah.
Well, it's right now it's a very close tie. It's a very close 1 and 2 between X-Men the animated series and Spider-Man the animated series, because I just finished that last week, and those are very, very close. But X-Men is amazing.
I was watching it, and I remember how we were talking about how like for Spider-Man they wouldn't allow him to throw punches.
Yeah.
I was watching it, and I was like, I wonder if this one doesn't allow it. And right before I even finished my thought, Sabretooth just sucker punches Wolverine in the gut. And I was like, okay, there's my answer. And they actually show like a little bit of blood, too.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this was very mature for, the times.
Especially for being out the same time as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. So I started, my plan is to get through every Marvel animated series I can find, and then rank them. I'm on my 5th series right now. So I watched X-Men a few times over the years.
Yeah.
I finished Spider-Man the animated series last week, and then I watched Silver Surfer, and then Spider-Man Unlimited.
You just started watching that one?
I just finished that one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's only a season, huh?
Yeah, Silver Surfer was only season 2. And then now I'm not watching them in any kind of order, just whatever I feel like starting. But right now I'm on Avengers United They Stand. Came out in 99. And yeah, so I'm going to watch all of them, and then I'm going to rank them. And then we're going to have an episode on here where I just go through my rank of each one.
Are you even gonna watch like the more recent stuff?
Everything.
Man, that's gonna be a lot. Some of those shows are going for years.
Yeah, I'm not gonna give you a break. I'm not giving people a breakdown of everything that happened throughout the show like we do with these comics, but I'm just gonna rank them all.
You should watch the Marvel Superhero Squad.
Which one was that?
That one, they're like kind of like they're like extra animated, like super like chibi with like big heads and like little arms. That one's funny though. I like that.
I'll check that one out.
Yeah.
Well, I will say I won't get into any of it just yet though, except for the fact that Spider-Man Unlimited was horrible. Horrible. Really bad. Silver Surfer was bad too, but Spider-Man Unlimited, that was bad.
Yeah. Actually, I haven't watched that one since like I was like a kid, so I don't remember exactly everything.
Well, if you have time to waste and you want to feel like you wasted time after you watched it, then yeah, watch that.
All I know is that for the next Spider-Man game, they need to make that suit one of the unlockable suits. And
yeah, the suit I'd be okay with.
They need to make a pop version of that suit.
Yeah, and I want them to bring back the Latino Green Goblin. That's it. That Carnage that was in that show, horrible. The most annoying TV character I've ever seen in my life. He was really bad.
You know who else is really bad? Professor X in the story I'm about to tell you guys.
He's usually pretty bad everywhere, but
So this week we're talking Secret Wars. More specifically, it's called it has not an actual name, but like a more longer name. It's called Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars.
yeah, just like the Marvel Superheroes Contest of Champion.
Yes. This was Contest of Champions made to sell toys?
Not specific. I'm sure they sold toys for it, but it was supposed to be like a companion thing for the Olympics.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. I knew it had something to do with companion synergy and stuff.
Yeah.
But this one was made to sell toys.
Perfect.
Surprisingly. So let me read like a little backstory for you guys. It tied in with the toy line of the same name by Mattel. They wanted to create a toy line that encompassed all of the characters that were in comic books at the time for Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Mattel was like, yeah, we'll create the toy line. You just create something that's going to help us sell. And so people at Marvel just thought, why don't we just do like this whole sort of big battle where we get all of our characters that are in publishing right now and just kind of throw them all on the same page. And they did it. Toys ended up not selling as much or as well as they were expecting, but the comic book ended up being one of the highest selling comic books of that year.
Most talked about comic books like ever.
Yeah. And with this being such a big book, Marvel decided every year we're going to do some big crossover. And so that's where, you know, how now we have a new crossover every year. It started with Secret Wars.
The start of the crossover.
Now, who we have in this book, like, they're not joking when they say they have every character in this book.
I was glad when I did Contest of Champion and they brought every superhero to the battle realm. And then they're like, oh, we're only going to use 24 of them.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. Still a lot, but okay, that's better. But this, they brought everybody.
They brought pretty much everybody you can think of. They have Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, Hulk, Hawkeye, Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau, She-Hulk, Wasp, and that's just the Avengers. We go in the Fantastic Four. We have Mr. Fantastic, Human Torch, Thing. Then we have the X-Men.
They never include Susan.
She's pregnant at the time.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, it probably wouldn't have been a good idea to include her. We have the X-Men. We have Colossus, Cyclops, Nightcrawler, Professor X, Rogue, Storm, Wolverine. Lockheed is there for some reason. And then Magneto's also there as well, too. We got Spider-Man. I think I mentioned Hulk already. And that's just the heroes. Villains, we got Absorbing Man, Doctor Doom, Dr. Octopus, Enchantress, Galactus, Kang, the Lizard for some reason, Molecule Man, Ultron, the Wrecking Crew is there, Wrecker, Thunderball, Pile Driver, Bulldozer, everybody. And then we also get some introductions for some other characters as well, too. some villains and heroes. But overall, like, this reads like what they were trying to do. Like, this seems like you dump all your toys out and here they are, like, make them do whatever you want them to do.
Quickly speaking back on the shows that I was watching, Spider-Man, the animated series, I think it's the last season. They do a Secret Wars, I want to say it's 2 or 3 episodes. And yeah, they're literally just pawns on the chessboard. Yeah, I won't get into too much of it, but yeah, they do it on that show too.
Yeah, and it's just cool because it's like you see characters like just they're having these battles and they're just fighting it out. The terrain is like, I guess I can start now, but we open with all these heroes just appear in this platform in space. It's just a floating platform, almost like a big ball, and they're just like confused as hell because they all just got teleported there, all from different places. Some of them, like Cyclops, for example, isn't even on the X-Men team, but he's transported in his X-Men outfit, and people are just confused. And then they see another platform appear, and that one, I don't know how they can see, but they can see that there's villains on that platform. And then they hear a voice saying, "I am the Beyonder. This is, I brought you here today to see who is the best. And whoever wins, whoever slays their foe, will have their wildest dreams come true. I can make anything happen." And we see, and they're in the middle of this universe, and all of a sudden, this universe this solar system just starts getting pulled to one end, and everything's destroyed. Just stars, planets, everything destroyed, and then just smashed together into this one planet. That's just like patchwork of different planets and different terrains. And then they get transported to this planet. And then that's where we'll start our story. So there, with all these characters, like how you mentioned in our previous episode or in some of the other episodes, where not everybody gets something to do, I would say probably 90% of the characters get something to do in this. Sure. Which makes it very not convoluted, but just very dense, because you're jumping back and forth and you're checking in on characters doing this thing or this thing. Forgive me if I do get a little mixed up or caught up in some of this, because it is a lot. Did I mention Galactus is there?
No.
Galactus is here.
Oh, perfect.
And he's just on the platform with all the other villains. Just confused as hell. It's we start with the planets being brought together and everything, and the villains are just being villains. They're like, we don't know why we're here, but I don't like any of you. I don't like these people on the other platform. Like, what's going on here? So they're all trying to figure out exactly what's happening and who's doing this. Galactus is not wasting any time. He's like, I need to get out of here. If I'm gonna be stuck on this platform, I'm going to kick somebody's ass for putting me here. So he decides to fly off the platform and just fly directly into this rift in space where this voice is coming from. And Doom, being Doom, is like, I'm going to hitch a ride on this guy and figure out what's going on too. So they both fly into this rift, and then inside, they just get their asses handed to them. Just by nothing, just by a pure cosmic force and destruction and chaos inside this rift. They're tossed around, thrown around, beat, and then just get shot back down to the planet without any hesitation.
Just come back like, oh no, I didn't like it out there.
Galactus hits the earth and is just knocked out. Doom somehow is more conscious than he is and just wanders off and just is confused. We jump to the heroes who are also on the planet. And they're all just kind of introducing themselves because this is the first time some of them have met too. And they notice that Magneto's there. And they're like, "Why are you here? You're a murderer.
Why are you on our side?"
And so Magneto's trying to like save face. And just, I'm not a murderer. Those guys, they had it coming. And they all point out that the fact that it was a Soviet submarine, and what did they have coming besides just being in a metal tube? And so they're having this whole argument. And Cyclops and the X-Men kind of come to Magneto's side and kind of just like, listen, it's all good. We're here for some reason that we all don't know. We shouldn't be trying to turn on each other. We should just try to work together to figure out what's going on. But all the Avengers and other heroes are just like, nah, I don't.
Nah.
No, we're not really into that. And so Magneto flies off and leaves everybody, and the other heroes are kind of just, I guess, trying to figure out who's who and like what's going to happen.
Mhm.
And then Doom shows back up with the other villains and is like, "Listen, what I just seen. You guys better listen to me, or shit's about to get real bad." And then they're just like, "Well, who are you to like tell us what to do?" And then Doom just backhands Molecule Man for no reason.
The dude is on a power trip 24/7.
And so because they don't want to follow him, and they found a whole base that they're staying in,
Mhm.
because they don't want to follow Doom, he blows up their machines and their life supports, and then just leaves. He just flies off. But Kang shoots him down as he's flying away, and the other heroes are just like, that looks like something bad happened. Let's go over there and figure it out. At this point, they see Doom, and this whole time Doom has been trying to have people join his side because he's like, this is above anybody's weight class. Like, we're out of our league. We need to stick together. But no one wanted to listen to him. Or he only asked the villains. They didn't want to listen to him. Then they shot him out the sky, and when the villains showed up and were like, okay, we gotta team up with Doom and like we're all in this together, he automatically just turns on them and is like, you guys don't want to listen to me. You guys are stupid. And then starts fighting them. While they're fighting Doom, all the other villains show up. And that's the end of the first issue. And so this is going to be the first attack. And it doesn't go very well for the heroes. So we'll jump to issue number dos. This is 12 issues, everybody. 12 issues over a year. 25 pages per issue.
If you can tell, DeMarco had a hell of a time reading this.
Battle starts. And somehow, Dr. Octopus is on the team. So he's like creating devices and everything. But these villains are just whooping ass. They caught the heroes off guard. Lockheed is putting in more work than Colossus. Colossus is knocked out.
He's just laid out on the ground.
You got this like 2-foot tall dragon putting in more work than this 7-foot tall man of metal. And Captain America is like leading the charge. He is not giving an inch to any of these people. At this point, Hulk is also putting in hella work, but he's not at full strength because he has the mind of Bruce Banner, but the strength of Hulk. So he keeps going back and forth in terms of like his anger. He can't get fully angry, but he's angry.
Yeah.
So he's putting in all this work and everything, but the heroes are just getting laid out. And Doom keeps going back to Galactus to try to like wake him to get him on his side. But Galactus keeps treating everybody like they're not there. Everybody says it, even though they don't say it to each other, but they all have the same thought. They keep saying that he treats them like they're gnats. He gives them the attention of a gnat because he's laying there just like flat, like unconscious. Then he just wakes up. You know, when you get out of bed, you kind of roll and like kind of get yourself up.
Yeah.
He just floats upwards and then just plants his feet on the ground. And then Doom is just like he's so scared of that. He's like, "What's this? Ah, I see. No mere mortal forced to clamber awkwardly to his feet. He simply rises and sets himself right. Hear me, mighty Galactus. Hear me, words of Dr. Doom." And then Galactus just walks away.
He has no care in the world.
And then Doom looks so like just offended. He's like, I'm talking to you, and you just walk away.
Yeah, through the mask, you can just see his eyes just like...
Because it's an angle where it's from like the top, and you just see him like looking.
Zara gives me that look when I tell her she can't have something sometimes.
And so what Doom does is, while the whole battle between the heroes and villains is happening, he sneaks back on the base. Previously in the first issue, because Ultron is there and he tried to kill everybody because he just wants to kill humanity, they were able to stop him, and his body's still there because it's made out of adamantium. So Doom breaks into the headquarters of the villains and basically reprograms Ultron to be his like bodyguard and only follow his orders. And so the battle's still going on. It's kind of going back and forth now. The heroes are kind of more teaming up now and, on the same page. and they manage to defeat the villains. They capture a few of them. The rest escape, but for who it was, they captured 3 of the wrecking crew out of the 4. They capture Kang and the Enchantress, and so that leaves Doc Ock, one of the wrecking crew, Molecule Man, and a few others. And so the heroes travel to their own base, and then they're all chilling there, recouping. Professor X is not in a wheelchair this time. He's walking around, which I thought was a artist error when I first seen it. It's like, did they forget to draw his wheelchair?
They're trying to sell those toys. They're like, listen, adding that wheelchair is going to be too expensive.
We'll add that as an accessory that they buy.
That's an add-on.
And so, yeah, they're in this headquarters. Not everyone's super excited with Captain America being the hero or the leader.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly Wolverine and the X-Men, because the X-Men, even though they are heroes at this point in time, they're still kind of seen as like the black sheep of the hero community.
Yeah.
So the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, Spider-Man, they're all cool with each other, but the X-Men are kind of just like, we're just here to be because we're here.
Yeah.
We don't really know why we're here. But everybody comes to the agreement that no killing whatsoever. Because if you kill somebody, then you get your wish.
Yeah.
And if you kill somebody, then you're no good, no better than the villains.
If you kill somebody, you gotta switch teams.
And so we jump to Magneto. He left everybody and just is on his own. He found his own base and he's just living there, just kind of contemplating what his next step's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then we jump to the villains getting back to their base, and who answers their own door but Doom. And he just renames their base the Doom Base. And they're like, what the hell? Who gave you authority? And then all of a sudden they get blasted by Ultron. And then Doom is just like, listen, you guys are going to respect me now. And this is my base, so listen to what I have to say. And so he's just treating Molecule Man super nice. He's like, he's calling him by his actual name. Just like asking him if he needs anything. And everyone else is like, well, what about us? We want stuff. We need food. And he's like, shut up. I don't need you guys. And Doom tells them, if you guys listen to me, we can get out of here and we'll all get our wish.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody kind of knows, like, you're just going to use us until you don't need us, and then we're done for. Galactus has made his way to the mountaintop and is just standing there with his arms straight out.
He looks like Frankenstein.
That's exactly what he looks like. And then we jump back to Magneto, who comes back to the hero base, and he's there to enact some sort of plan. He never really says what his plan was, but he goes to like their life support for the base and just fucks it up. Just trying to get their attention. Cyclops and Mr. Fantastic are having like a moment together because Reed was just like everyone else was just teleported there, but Susan's pregnant. She can have the baby at any time, and he's worried that she's going to have to do it alone, and he won't be able to see the birth of his child. Scott was on his honeymoon, not even on the X-Men team, and was just teleported there. So he's worried about his wife, and he just wants to go back home. And then the Thing also wants to go back home. Everyone's worried about their lover. That's the whole thing. I say about like 3 characters, 3 or 4. That's their whole reason for wanting to go home. It's just because their love is there and they miss their love. And
my girl.
Spider-Man's there and he's just hanging out with Johnny, but his spider sense starts going off. So he swings over to the life support. Johnny sets up the Fantastic Four symbol in the air, and everybody runs to the problem. And then we see Spider-Man get thrown out, and he's like wrapped in a bunch of metal. And everyone's just like, oh, Magneto's back. He's trying to, we knew he was a villain. We got to take him out. And he's like, no, this is all part of my plan. Like, I was just trying to get you guys here. And so he is trying to escape, but in the midst of everything, he's being chased by the Wasp and the Thing. The Thing somehow, he keeps going back and forth between his Rocky self and his normal human self. And he doesn't know why. And it happens at least 2 or 3 times in the whole series. But he just keeps going back and forth at the most awkward times. And so while this happens, Magneto traps Wasp in a bunch of scrap metal and just takes her with him. And they're just he just disappears with her. And that's the end of issue number 2. So this whole thing is, like I said, it's like a whole toy box.
Mm-hmm.
But I really liked how like they did it. I like how each issue doesn't seem like it's just chugging along just for the sake of chugging along. It's like it's giving you full stories to go with, or to kind of understand for each character and like what they're trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
And
also, in the Spider-Man Secret Wars on the show, Ben Grimm got changed back into, or the thing got changed back into Ben Grimm.
Yeah. Issue number 3 starts with Magneto in his base, having his evil monologue, and then he brings Wasp back in and lets her out of her steel cage. And he's basically just trying to seduce her. He's trying to seduce her and get her on his side because she was one of the first people to say, like, no, you're a murderer. We shouldn't have you on this team. No matter what's going on, you've killed people. You're a terrorist. Like, you're just a bad dude. And so he brings her out and he's trying to like seduce her and like, hey, have a seat. You know, I got some sweet fruit and everything. Let's talk. And so she like, they're arguing, going back and forth. He's like admiring her beauty and like saying all this stuff about her. And she's just like, you're being kind of gross. We jump back to the heroes at their base. A huge storm is going on outside, like a flood. Like it looks like they're in the ocean and they're about to be drowned. Luckily for Thor, or luckily they have Thor because he can go out there and control the weather still. Even though they're on this artificial planet, everything is kind of there to kind of suit their needs as
Isn't
need
Storm
be.
there too?
Storm is there, but she doesn't really do too much. So Thor is out there protecting the base from the whole storm. She-Hulk is kind of moving stuff around. That's not necessary to really say. Iron Man is using his roller skates for some reason, even though he can fly. He does fly in this series, but he's using the roller
I've never understood the roller skates.
And he tries to say they're rocket propelled, so they'll make me go quicker. I don't care how many rockets you put on roller skates; they're not going to be quicker than flying.
I don't care how fast those wheels go; you're not going faster than the airplane.
Also, in this, James Rhodes is in the Iron Man suit, which I didn't know until later issues. There's a part in one of the later issues where he's getting his armor fixed by Mr. Fantastic, and his arm is just out, and it's a black guy. Yeah. So I'm like, why did they color Tony Stark black? And then like 2 panels later, he says, "Did you expect to see a black man under this armor?" I was like, I did not.
No, I didn't. Thank you for asking. That's how they were selling toys. That's why they probably didn't say anything until the 8th issue.
The mask comes off. It's just a black guy. It's just an empty face. You can put any black guy you know in there. Just cut out his face and slide it in.
The package comes with like 5 different black faces that you could interchange. And then there's one that just comes with just Iron Man in the package by himself. And then when the 8th issue rolls around, they're like, yes, I got him to buy Iron Man.
Wait till they find out it's a black guy.
And then one parent comes in and sees that it's a black guy on the TV or in the book. They're like, what the hell?
Put 2 and 2 together.
They take all the toys in the bucket and just throw them away. You're not playing with this anymore.
And then, still in the hero base, we see Spider-Man just kind of like wandering around. He doesn't do too much stuff until later on, but he's just wandering around the base, kind of exploring. And at this point, the X-Men are also separating themselves from everybody else. So they have their own little office and like meeting room and stuff. And Spider-Man kind of goes over and checks out what they're doing. And he sees that they're having some sort of special meeting. And he can't hear exactly what they're saying, but he knows it's not anything good. He can kind of pick up on a few things here and there. And one of them is that they are going to go meet with Magneto. So once he hears that, Spider-Man busts through the wall and decides, like, you guys, they didn't have trust in them in the first place, and this solidifies their no trust in them.
Has anyone acknowledged the fact that Professor X is walking?
No.
Okay. I didn't think so.
I think the Beyonder fixed, quote unquote, fixed some people or some things with people, and therefore his walking was one of them. But I think he did have his wheelchair when he got teleported. But later on in some of the issues, he says his legs are tired because he's not used to walking too much.
Damn, this is really hard.
And so Spider-Man comes in and he backhands Professor X over the desk, and he just starts making the X-Men look like fools. Like, it's not even. It's pretty sad.
Yeah. I'm following along because I didn't read this, so I'm following along as you go. And yeah, this just kind of proves what I was saying on the last episode. They shouldn't be together as a team. They're not good.
You got Colossus looking like a dumb idiot. Wolverine can't even get a good punch in. Rogue is being strung up to the ceiling.
Why do they have Rogue looking like that?
Yeah, she looks like somebody's like aunt.
Yeah. She's like in a flashy green jumpsuit.
And yeah, Spider-Man just makes everybody look like fools.
No, he handed everybody their ass. Even Wolverine.
Yeah. And so he lays them all out, and he's like, okay, I gotta go tell everybody else. So he finds Mr. Fantastic, but right as he's about to tell him, he forgets what he's about to say. And he's just like, oh, I guess it was nothing. And he just swings off. But we find out that Professor X was using his powers to like scramble his mind, so he forgot everything that he just seen.
Mm-hmm.
Just so he wouldn't tell. But the whole plan is never really never really realized. All it is that the X-Men are just going to leave. They're going to leave and go find Magneto and be a third team in all of this. And then we jump back to Magneto, and he says that he's interested in an alliance with Doom, or he's not interested in an alliance with Doom. And Doom is like, well, if you're not going to be in an alliance with us, that makes you my enemy. So you're going to regret this later on. Magneto's like, yeah, whatever. So he goes back to trying to romance the Wasp. And this is in the 80s, just so you guys know. But this should have always been the rule. When a woman says no, it means no.
It's a no. I don't care how she says it.
And do not force yourself on
No.
her.
She says no, just back off.
Just because you're not on planet Earth does not mean the rules don't apply. And so the Wasp and Magneto start making out. And they have a moment, or a few moments. I'm not entirely sure. We jump to Doom base, and we see Doom has two women in like these tubes. And he's basically messing around with the alien technology and giving these women powers. And all of a sudden they come out the tubes and they have powers. So these are the two of the characters that we had not met before, but we have Titania and Volcania.
Volcania.
So one of them can shoot like really hot plasma, so almost like a volcano, just melt almost anything.
Mm-hmm.
The other one is super strong and really aggressive and has really bad anger issues. And so Doom is just adding people onto his team now.
It's always interesting to me when they give them these kind of costumes.
Yeah.
Because it's...
Yeah, Doom made these costumes.
Yeah, he made these costumes for them. And Volcana is, like, she's just basically just all flames.
Yeah.
But...
She's she just looks like a blacked out Human Torch.
Yeah. But what's her name? Titania?
That has to be uncomfortable.
This is like a video vixen outfit.
It's like a wrestling outfit.
That's crazy.
And Absorbing Man, when he sees them, he says, because they're asking like where these women came from, and he's like, who knows? I wouldn't put it past Doomsy to build broads from scratch. And Titania does not like that. She's very anti-talking at all. Don't talk to her. Don't be alive near her. Really is her whole motto. She just gets angry at everything. Rightfully so. She should be angry at Absorbing Man, but he has like not a care in the world about her. And so Volcania, she meets Molecule Man, and those two just fall madly in love with each other. Like, they're inseparable. Molecule Man is so like kind of weak. He's kind of stupid, but he has like almighty power. He's kind of like that scary type of person, that scary kind of weak. And so we jump back to the heroes again, and we see Thor in like the healing chambers,
mm-hmm.
Where they have the villain prisoners captured. A few of them are in stasis, so they're alive but not conscious. and Enchantress is in there. So Thor and her go on like a little date, and they're just like in another part of the world, just kind of talking about what they really want out of the situation. Has nothing to do with the story, but it'll work. Basically, Hulk and Captain America are supposed to be on watch, trying to figure out exactly what's going on, but also on watch so the villains don't sneak up on them. Cap fell asleep, but the whole time Hulk was trying to figure out exactly what was going on, and he forgot to keep watch. And so the morning comes after the storm, and Doom's people are already on their way there. Cap shoots up, and he's like, "Oh shit, we gotta go! Everybody on alert!"
I overslept.
And Doom's people take no time in getting in that base.
Not surprising.
Ben, in his human form, Mr. Fantastic, and Johnny are just at a table, just chilling. And all of a sudden, this huge steel door just gets thrown at them. Johnny's arm and ribs are broken. Ben somehow survives, but Reed is just like hunched over in all the debris. Titania comes in, and she's just fucking shit up. Volcania is also messing everything up too. And then, yeah, they're just really not giving them a chance. Hawkeye's in there with his arrows trying to make a difference.
Iron Man's trying to put on his rollerblades.
The only one actually putting in any some sort of kind of work is kind of the Hulk, but even he's getting like demolished. And so they pretty much knock everybody out. They don't take any prisoners, but they pretty much lose this battle.
Mm-hmm.
Doom and his people just kind of head off after that. Nothing else. They're just like, yeah, we did that. And then what I also like too is like, you know how you see over the years you see comic covers and you're just like, oh, like people talk about it and like, oh, that's the story, you know, everyone's talking about.
Yeah.
And there's two iconic, or I'd say three iconic covers in this whole series.
Mm-hmm.
One is, I'd say, the first issue where it's just like the heroes jumping into action. I've seen that before, but kind of like in different interpretations and different drawings and stuff. But the other one is the Hulk holding the mountain with the heroes around 4, it. Yeah, that one, and then I think issue 8 or 9 with Spider-Man getting his black suit, and just kind of being able to read those like iconic comics with the covers is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, they blow up the hero base. Luckily, the heroes were able to escape, but Titania is not happy with that, so she picks up like a 40-ton piece of metal and just hurls it 5 miles to where they are, and hopes they're just throwing rocks and pieces of metal at them from 5 miles away, hoping that they hit them. And Molecule Man's like, oh, you guys are doing the hard work. Let me do the easy work. And just decides to pick up a whole mountain range the size of the Alps and just drop it on everybody. Just places a whole mountain range just in a new spot. And like half the heroes are knocked out. We have Human Torch, Iron Man, Cap, Hawkeye, and Hulk are the only conscious ones. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5 others who are incapacitated at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And so Spider-Man Spider-Sense kind of warns everybody to look up and watch out for what's happening. Luckily, Hawkeye and Iron Man are able to take out the debris that Titania threw, but they can't do anything about the freaking mountain range coming down on them. So that just happens. And the villains are just like, yeah, we did it. They're all cheering on Molecule Man. Meanwhile, Thor and Enchantress are still on their date. But because they're on the same planet, they feel the earthquake of a mountain range being moved. So they're just like, oh shit, like something's happening. So they decide to go back. And they teleport right to the middle of where the villains are, because that's where the hero base used to be. And Thor's just like, he's like, I don't care how many of you are here. Like, I'm going to fuck all of you up. And so they just go at it. Everyone's just like giving it all to Thor. He's getting some people, but for the most part, he's kind of getting his ass kicked. It's kind of going back and forth. But once they finally have him like kind of tied down, Doom directs Ultron to take care of Thor and kill him. And all that's left is this helmet and his piece of his cape. So they're like, cool, he's done. But Doom, being Doom, is like, nah, I think we always have to be prepared. And then, I don't remember when this happened, but supposedly King tried to kill Doom. Oh, yeah, when he shot him, duh.
Yeah.
After Thor is killed, Doom is like, we got one more thing to take care of. You tried to kill me. He's like, oh no, man, it was a mistake. He's like, you still need me. He's like, nah. And then he has Ultron kill Kang, and Kang is just gone from there. And at this point, everyone's just kind of like, oh shit, like he's serious about not needing us anymore. And then we cut to Professor X and the X-Men on their ship, trying to find Magneto. And we jump to Colossus, thinking about Kitty.
Oh God.
And I think this is the panel where he says, or it gets kind of creepy. He says, Kitty, I miss you so much. I fear you are in awful danger now, as we surely are here in this godforsaken world, so far from home. And you, I think there's no returning from this place. All the dreams I hardly dared to dream about us finished, if only I could see you one more time. And then he mentioned something about, I guess it's not this one, but he mentioned something about, I can't wait till you're older.
That man needs to be locked up. Him
Professor
and
X is harboring a bunch of weirdos. And not just because they're mutants.
No. He's a criminal.
I don't hate you because you're a mutant. I hate you because you're a creep.
You're not a creep because I hate you.
And so, yeah, they're on their way to find Magneto. Yeah, they find his base. They show up. And Magneto's still putting on the charm for Wasp.
Jesus.
And he makes her a comb out of nothing. He pulls the metal from the air and just he's straining so hard to make her a comb.
Oh, thank you so much.
And so the X-Men show up and they're like, "Hey, we're here to talk to you. We want to be on your side." And Magneto's trying to explain to them like, "Look, we don't have to fight the humans anymore. Like, we've squashed our beef. Yeah. Look at she's here." And then she changes side and she's like, "I was just playing, you dummy."
I just needed a hair comb.
Yeah, she really got nothing out of this.
You kissed an old man and got a comb. That's it.
And then once again, the X-Men prove that they are nothing worth anybody's time. They get laid out by the Wasp.
See?
By one person.
By the Wasp of all. I'm not saying that the Wasp is trash.
Yeah.
But she's not the one that I expect to take out the whole team.
No.
Spider-Man, yeah.
And so, yeah, they get dumped on. Wasp steals their ship and then and then flies off.
You get jumped and then you get your shit taken.
And then Magneto's like, "Look what you did. Like, you came here with these stupid, trying to join my team, and then now she's leaving with our ship." And Professor X was like, "Oh, this is just part of my plan. I could have stopped her if I wanted to. You could have stopped her if you wanted to. But we needed her to go." And so she's flying the ship, doesn't know how to fly it, first of all. She's crashing into everything. Then we jump to the other heroes, and we see that classic comic book cover. We see the Hulk bracing up the piece of the mountain just with enough space for everybody to kind of be cramped in there. They're trying to come up with some sort of plan to, get out of there. But Reed is like the smartest person there, and he's the only one who can really figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Hulk is holding it up, but he's got maybe a few seconds, if that, or a couple minutes. Reed, being the smart genius he is, he takes some of Hawkeye's arrows, Spider-Man's web shooters, and Iron Man's, connects them all up to Iron Man's armor, and is able to create a big enough blast to shoot a hole through the side of the mountain to allow them to get through. Luckily, when they get out, Thor's already there. And so he had actually tricked the villains into thinking that he was dead by creating a lightning bolt to come down right as he was supposed to get hit, which transported him. And so they re-team up, and we see Galactus at the top of the mountain still, just watching, not doing anything. And Captain Marvel, since she could fly at the speed of light, is just flying around, checking on things, seeing if there's a new place that they can go to kind of be safe. Mm-hmm. She finds a village, and it's full of people, or creatures that look like people, that welcome them in and heal them. Seeing as She-Hulk was hurt pretty bad, Johnny was hurt, she's able to heal them, and the healer and Johnny, they got eyes for each other. It's kind of creepy, but All of a sudden, Ben turns back into the into the thing again. No, nothing.
Warning.
No warning or anything. It's just there. And then Reed looks up because the mountain is right, or Galactus is at the mountaintop right next to the village.
Mhm.
Reed looks up and he sees Galactus just holding his hands up to the air or to the sky, and Reed knows exactly what's happening. And he says, "Oh no, no!" And then that's the end of that issue.
All right, guys, and we're gonna take a little pause here and give everybody a break. And this is gonna be the end of part 1 of the Secret Wars story. And we'll be back next week with part 2.
Numero dos.
Numero dos. So thanks for kicking it with us this week. Really appreciate you guys coming back and listening every week. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye.